Thank you for watching my videos. Please can you like the video and subscribe to my channel. If you can share the video, that would be great. Thank you for your help. The Dymaxion car, designed by American inventor Buckminster Fuller during the Great Depression, was a vehicle designed to explore the ground taxiing phase of a future vehicle that could fly, land, and drive. Fuller built 3 experimental prototypes with naval architect Starling Burgess, using donated money and a family inheritance. The Dymaxion's aerodynamic bodywork was designed for increased fuel efficiency and top speed, and its platform featured a lightweight hinged chassis, rear-mounted V8 engine, front-wheel drive, a rare RF layout, and 3 wheels. However, Fuller noted severe limitations in its handling, especially at high speed or in high wind, due to its rear-wheel steering and limited understanding of the effects of lift and turbulence on automobile bodies at the time. Shortly after its launch, a prototype crashed and killed the Dymaxion's driver, despite courting publicity and the interest of auto manufacturers. Fuller used his inheritance to finish the second and third prototypes, selling all 3, dissolving Dymaxion Corporation, and reiterating that the Dymaxion was never intended as a commercial venture. One of the 3 original prototypes survives, and 2 semi-faithful replicas have recently been constructed. The Dymaxion was included in the 2009 book 50 Cars That Changed the World, and was the subject of the 2012 documentary, The Last Dymaxion. In 2008, the New York Times said Fuller saw the Dymaxion, as he saw much of the world, as a kind of provisional prototype, a mere sketch of the glorious eventual future. Fuller would later develop his comprehensive anticipatory design science, his theory of using all technology on behalf of all people as soon as possible. He believed that with such a vehicle, human travel, like that of birds, would no longer be confined to airports, roads, and other bureaucratic boundaries. In 1933, entrepreneur John Fuller founded Dymaxion Corporation, a factory in the former dynamometer building of the defunct Locomobile Company at Tongue Point, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Fuller initially refused his benefactor due to potential profit motives and short-sightedness, but later devised a contract with a so-called ice cream soda clause where Fuller could freely buy only ice cream sodas with all the donated money. On March 4, 1933, President Roosevelt instituted a banking moratorium. Fuller formed Dymaxion Corporation and hired naval architect Starling Burgess and a team of 27 workers, including former Rolls-Royce mechanics. Fuller's goal was to create an omni-medium transport vehicle that could go anywhere, with wheels for ground travel and jet stilts for instant takeoff and flight. Prototype 1 was badly damaged in a noted car crash at the 1933 Chicago Century of Progress Fair and was repaired and sold to the director of the automotive division of the U.S. Bureau of Standards, BOSS. It was later destroyed in a fire at the Washington, D.C. garage of the BOSS. Prototype 2 survives in the Harrah collection of the National Automobile Museum in Reno, Nevada. It was initially purchased by Alfred Williams, manager of the Gulf Refining Company, and driven cross-country in a nationwide advertising promotion of aircraft fuel. In a contemporary video, Fuller notes that good friend Amelia Earhart asked that the Dymaxion be her official car for the celebration of her receiving the National Gold Medal from National Geographic. Prototype 3 changed hands many times but was lost, presumed scrapped, in the 1950s. Once owned by Leopold Stokowski, it was estimated to have been driven 300,000 miles. In 1934, Noguchi drove a completed Dymaxion on an extended road trip through Connecticut with Claire Booth Luce and Dorothy Hale, stopping to see Thornton Wilder in Hamden, Connecticut, before driving to Hartford for the out-of-town opening of Gertrude Stein's and Virgil Thomson's Four Saints in 3 acts. One of the prototypes was driven extensively in a campaign to raise funds in support of the Allies in World War II. The Dymaxion car, popularly known as the first 3 vehicles designed to test ground taxiing under transverse wind conditions, was developed by R. Buckminster Fuller and his team. The Dymaxion concept presented considerable challenges, including maneuvering in high winds, steering difficulty, and lift at the rear of the vehicle. Fuller and Burgess realized that the Dymaxion could not be made available to the general public without considerable improvements, and instituted a program of constant refinement and improvement to the platform. Fuller and Burgess limited driving to a list of trained drivers and restricted use in high winds or inclement weather. After launching Prototype 1, Fuller was invited to exhibit the Dymaxion at a Bronx racetrack, beating the track record by 50% and drawing attention because it did not slide or drift across the track like other race cars. However, A highly publicized crash occurred in Prototype 1 on October 27, 1933, which killed its driver, Gulf employee Francis T. Turner, and seriously injured its passengers, aviation pioneer William Semple and Charles Dolphus, curator of France's first air museum. The cause of the crash is disputed, with a coroner's inquest not appointing fault for the accident, stating that it involved a collision with a car driven by a shoe salesman named Mayer Roth. Fuller and Burgess argued that the design of the Dymaxion was not a factor in the crash and that the politician's car was quickly and illegally removed from the scene before reporters arrived. Turner was killed when the canvas-covered roof framing collapsed, while Dolphus was ejected and landed nearby on his feet. Fuller received interest from Walter Chrysler, Henry Ford, Henry Kaiser, Packard, Studebaker, and Curtiss Wright. Chrysler commissioned Fuller to study the development of the airflow, finding that Fuller had used 1/4 the money and 1/3 the time to make his prototype. At various points, several manufacturers were interested in marketing the Dymaxion, with Walter Chrysler being particularly interested, but warned that such an advanced design would meet considerable resistance and make every used car on the road obsolete, threatening the wholesale dealer distribution and finance network.